Should be interesting one with film breakdown and a return of Hargraves. Dun 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 dun. I didn't break down the stats earlier, but I will. But phone lines are up in 727-475-182. Try not to ramble too long. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that want to call in today because you guys are killing it in the chat section. And you got Deshaun and everybody is killing it. See, look at already. All right, hold on. Here we go. Bucnblake Sports Caller, you're live.
All right, hey, my name is Robert. Long-time Bucs fan, short-time fan of the Bucs Report. I just want to say, man, I'm really proud of the way that the Bucs have played lately. Number one, just looking at the secondary, how we've blossomed. A lot of people were panicking and said that we needed to get a lot of people. And I just wanted to call and just say, I support the Bucs. And I'm proud of how our secondary has grown. Murphy Bunting, I look at a lot of the draft reports and everything, and I was a little skeptical of them, but
you weren't the only one.
I'm really liking how, regardless of injuries, we've started to grow. And I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Jameis. Being 6-2 these last few games, I'm really proud of him. And I think at least he deserves the franchise tag. What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely agree. I'll start with the Winston part. I definitely agree. Definitely deserves a franchise tag. Definitely deserves an extension. But I'll let them and their agents work all that out, and I'll just comment on it later when it's done. But I agree. That man has taken just a verbal beating in the media and fans since he's been here, from college to here, and he keeps coming back. He keeps going in the community, keeps fighting. The resiliency of this man is pouring on to some players. A lot of players don't really talk about it unless you're around them, but they love Jameis Winston. The players do. Oh, you all right? Got a little cold there? Yeah, they love Jameis Winston.
I have my son with me right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, and you're right. And ever since the exit of Vernon Hargraves, the secondary has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
Dean, Murphy, Bunting.
Yeah.
It just everybody's clicking. I think Arian said it best. If you saw the clip, the communication is there. You can see it. There's communication there, and there's not a whole lot of blown coverage. Of course, people are going to make plays when quarterbacks scramble out. They're going to find people. It happens, but it's just not over and over like it used to be.
And I have a quick question. With Justin Evans, he's out on injury, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what's the addition of Justin Evans? Do you think that we'll need to one of the guys I'm really liking is Grant Delpit out of LSU. Do you feel like we're solidified as safety enough with Mike Edwards and Justin Evans returning? Or do you think we need to go ahead and get another safety to really solidify our secondary?
My opinion, I always thought we needed a veteran back at safety, but if Arians is cool with the young guys and he wants to add another young guy, I'm fine with that too. Delpit will fit this system because Todd Bowles will find a way to play him in the box and use him to play tight ends and to blitz off the edge, and Delpit can do both of those. And he's tall and lanky, yeah, like a lot like Derwin James out of Florida State. I know a lot of people were skeptical about that pick because we picked Vea over him. But at the time, we had a Mike Smith defense, and do you really think that Derwin James would have thrived in a Mike Smith defense? Absolutely not. No. I think every Buck fan knows that answer. I agree. I like Delpit. I'm cool with the veteran back there, or I'm cool running with the young guys. I mean, if I'm just thinking about it right now, they're not getting killed over the top. I think the only game that he really got killed over the top, and that was Andrew Adams. That was the Colt game where he was peeking in the backfield and the receiver ran right past him for a touchdown. Otherwise than that, these guys have not been getting beat deep.
Yeah. Oh. And my last question, I'm going to let you go so someone else can have a chance. I just wanted to know, as far as one of the things that people always scoff at, when they talk about Jameis Winston, we as Bucs fans, we know the numbers that he puts up, but we have also seen for the last, I'll say 4 years, a lack of production coming from a running back.
Preach it,
and
brother.
I want to know,
Preach it.
Do you believe that we should get? Is it the offensive line? Because I see that we're not getting hardly any penetration. That oftentimes, Peyton Barber and Rojo are getting hit in the backfield. Is it an offensive line, or do we need to go out and draft a running back like a Jonathan Taylor, or go after one of the free agent backs, or Chuba Hubbard, or a guy like that? Is it the line, or do we need the running back? Because either way, we need to help out Jameis. because when you're playing from behind and you don't have a running game, he's going to throw it a ton, which opens up the turnovers.
Yep. You limit the passes, you limit the turnovers. And I was saying that the whole game. I said Jameis Winston should not have to be still thrown in this game. But that's just what it's been all season. The run game is non-existent. And to answer your question, I think the league and the history have proven if you have a offensive line, not just the offensive line that gets in people's way, an offensive line that moves people.
Mm-hmm.
Moves people is the word. Moves people and creates lanes. It doesn't matter who you have in the backfield. Just like in the secondary, you can have Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman, or whatever. I know it's a little different, but if you don't have a pass rush, those guys ain't gonna make no difference. So it's the same thing on the offensive line. If they ain't moving anybody, then it doesn't matter if you have Adrian Peterson back there. So I mean, when you're run blocking, it's not your job just to get in the way. You've got to move people and create lanes. I was saying in the game, it's almost like we're not getting any push on the offensive line. Maybe you should just run draws and let them upfield and then just run in the gaps when you get the chance, because the line, besides Alex Kappa and Ryan Jensen, in the second half of the season, they're the only ones getting to the second level. A lot of these guys are just getting impact, and that's it. And the backs have to find a hole. And I see him trying. I see him trying to jump in one gap to get the linebackers out of position and try to jump back in the other gap. It's just not there. Sometimes it's just not there.
You're right. I agree, man. I wholeheartedly agree. Hey, Bucnblake, thank you, man. I appreciate the call. Appreciate the opportunity to call, rather. And you have a great day, man. Go Bucs. Seize the day.
Always seize the day. Appreciate you. Always. Anytime callers call in, love it. Love guys get on here, and everybody's happy. You're getting the win. You're actually seeing the team progressing. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you guys are there, you guys watching this, that's all they want. They want to see progression. They want to see you have a vision and you're trying to achieve it. That's all they want to see. They want to see progression. Of course, wins, of course. Caller, you're live on Bucs Sports.
Hey, what's going on, Blank? It's Frankie. How's it going, man?
There he is. I know that voice anywhere. You ain't got to introduce yourself. Frankie, what's going on?
Oh, man, dude. That game was so exciting yesterday, man.
It's
exciting.
It's always exciting on a win.
Oh, man. And I'm not going to lie. I sit there and I got my phone on, and I'm getting the Buckaholic videos popping up. I believe, I don't want to say it was Misador, but somewhere late in the third or the beginning of the fourth, there was the video that popped up where they're like chanting, "Where are you going?"
Yep.
The Lions fans were leaving, and I'm dying. I'm like, oh God, this is great. I wish I could just share the hell out of this, because man, it was great. It reminded me of the Bucs games from like the dynasty era that we should have had from the late 90s, early 2000s. That defense was just so cold. You know what I mean? That's what that game reminded me of yesterday. That defense was just so nuts. And Winston was just on point yesterday. I've seen a comment of, man, he needs to leave the glove on because he's like throwing perfect spirals.
So you're with gloved Winston? You're with glove? Glove gets love, or no love, no glove, no love?
Well, the main concern I have now is Evans is. I believe they put Evans on IR. If I heard correctly and read correctly. Now Godwin, I'm not sure what's going on with him, and Scotty, I'm not sure what's going on with him either. But it's a hammy.
Mm-hmm.
We only got 2 games left in the season, and you don't want to rush a hammy because, and we're not fighting for a playoff spot.
Right.
So the question is, do we put them on IR and just try and pick up another one or two wide receivers, or do we see if we can get them back for Game 7 or the last Game 7? I'm thinking basketball time. Game 7, Week 17 against the Falcons. But even at that, we can't go in against the Texans with just 3 wide receivers, because we got Hyman, Perriman, and Watson. We can't go in with a team with the Texans with just 3 wide receivers. And Hyman's the guy that we picked up. Was he a practice squad guy? Or
Yeah.
the guy we signed off the street?
No, he was practice squad guy.
Yeah, but still, like we got 3 wideouts against the Texans. That's not good.
No, it's not. And you heard Aaron's. He said he would like to have 4 and then have Hudson, who's in concussion protocol. We're not sure if he's going to be available or not. He was slated as the number 5 guy. So running this offense this week is going to be tough for Byron Leftwich, being the fact with your receiver situation and how you're going to call plays and how familiar. You see fans see how football works. You see with people with personnel and being familiar with the offense, it's going to change the play calling and the game plan a whole lot when you got different people in there that are and are not familiar with certain things. I think I wanted to see them bring back Anthony Johnson, that young receiver out of Buffalo, but he might be on somebody's roster currently right now. And it's going to be
like yesterday, somebody was talking about bring back Bobo, and I'm like, man, I don't know, man. But excuse me, man. I believe somebody mentioned it in the chat in here that they could see Byron testing OJ at wide receiver on Sunday.
possible. I think the last home game they ran Bray and OJ out of twins left out in formation, both at wide out. So it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, it is possible. You could run him at a 4, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or a 3. But I don't know if he could run like a slot, but he could be your number 3 guy, but I don't think he could run a slot. That's the problem. He's fast enough.
Definitely.
He is a tight end, but he's a receiving kind of tight end.
Right, he's a vertical tight end. I get what you're saying. Only thing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are blessed about is that they don't have to face J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney this go round. Well, Clowney's not there anymore, but Watt's out. So we can't rely on the run game. That's why I said, man, Byron Leftwich got his hands full. I want to hear this interview coming up, especially with all these players coming out and how you're going to call this offense, because it's going to be tough, man. And Winston's going to be tested, especially if he doesn't have Godwin out there. Perriman it's definitely shown. I think a lot of people ain't talked enough about that. Perriman is balling out. Was that 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks? Over almost 200 yards receiving total altogether. He's playing.
I think I looked it up. I want to say it was like 215 or 220.
Oh, good. I'm good, boy. I didn't even look that up. Look how close I was. And I don't know if you guys knew, Brashard Perriman's father played.
Winston had over 900 in 2 weeks. The first quarterback, if I remember it correctly, in NFL history to throw over 450 yards in back-to-back games. And yet people are saying he's not a Super Bowl quarterback. Get the hell out of here. I'm trying to keep it as PG as possible. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Like, I told you there's another sports show I follow, and I got my blood was boiling last night because I was so jacked after the game. Because they on Sunday night, they do their talk show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I want to see your negative comments now. Look, Winston did it again. Yeah, well, Winston sucks. He's not a Super Bowl quarterback. You need a new oh, man, my blood was boiling. I'm telling you, man, I go to battle for my quarterback because that's our guy. He's going to get a contract extension, without a doubt. And he's proven everybody wrong. Why still the hate? I mean, he's going and doing. He's gonna lead the league in yards. He may lead the NFL in touchdown passes. And you're still gonna say the negative thoughts. What's your problem? If you're gonna be throwing that many yards and that many touchdowns, and we have, I think they're 3rd or 2nd in the NFL in scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not capable of winning the team or being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Who else is doing it? Winston and Godwin, or Evans and Godwin. Who's getting them the ball? Winston. Shut up.
I mean, everybody.
Sorry, I do get heated when I defend my Bucs, just like anybody else that's a Bucs fan.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't even get into all that. It's either I've come to the conclusion that it's either you like them or you don't, and that's fine. there's a lot of other quarterbacks here that we've had that doesn't like, that they don't like, and it comes with other teams as well. It's whatever personal reasons it is. It is what it is. All I care about is the team progressing and the team winning. And it looks like Arians and the coaching staff there are turning the tables there and trying to get that culture out of it. It seems that way.
The only quarterback we drafted that I was not okay with was Dilfer. And I was talking with my buddy that's going to be co-hosting with me on my show coming up. I did myself a little plug there. We were talking about it. He was like, who did you want? I'm like, you're not going to believe when I tell you who I wanted at quarterback. Because I follow college football. He's like, who did you want? And I'm like, yes. And he was like going through quarterbacks that were in the draft that year. He goes, you didn't want Glenn Foley, did you? I'm like, yes, I did. He started laughing. I'm like, dude, I saw something in Glenn Foley. I thought we could have drafted something else in the first round, stole Glenn Foley in the second or third, and I thought that could have been our future.
We'll never know now, right?
I'm just saying, I thought Glenn Foley had something special. And he kind of did, but the Jets didn't know what to do with him. So,
and normally
that was what's that?
Most young talented quarterbacks don't go get drafted to good teams. So that's the part with player progressions and quarterbacks. They get thrown in the fire pit. That the fire pit was terrible when they got there. And then sometimes people just believe.
Look at David Carr. Look at Morales.
Oh God!
Look at Ryan Leaf. Look at Rick Meyer. I mean, you can go through the David Klinger. I mean, the list can go on and on and on about
Steve Young.
These rookie quarterbacks that get drafted to a team.
Steve Young.
And they just get thrown into the dumpster fire and get thrown the ball right away.
Yep.
Look at Tim Couch.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Cleveland.
Tim Couch could have been something special, but he gets drafted to the Browns, a dumpster fire that's on top of a dumpster fire.
Like I said, that was us with Steve. That was us with Steve Young. Had a Hall of Famer in the house. Can't do nothing with him.
Oh yeah.
Can't do nothing with him.
Well, we didn't protect him, and we didn't give him any weapons.
Story sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. It does. I said my piece. I love talking Bucs with you, but I know there's probably other people who want to get on the phone.
No problem.
I love the new setup, man. I love the evolution that you did here.
Yep, I'm always evolving, man. I'm the black bookworm.
It's gorgeous.
They call me the black bookworm. That's me.
I'm a sci-fi nerd and a wrestling nerd. So let me just say this for everybody that knows that wrestling. I'm going to leave with two comments. I'm going to say Bruce Arians, baby. And I'm going to say Jameis Winston, bask in his glory. That's all I'm going to say.
There you go.
Because I'm a wrestling nerd.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And that's it, man. Keep it going, man. I'll let you get going with other phone calls.
All right. Appreciate it, Frankie, as always. Stay safe, buddy.
All right, man.
To Frankie, everybody. I think he's going to have his own little sitcom here on BucsReport.com. If you're just tuning in, it's Bucnblake Sports Live on BucsReport.com. I'm Blake Anthony, and this is the Monday post-game edition. Right now, this section is all for you guys. If you guys want to call in, say your piece, and get off, and we'll talk about it, and you can watch it on the rewatch. You can if you want, because I know some of you guys are working, sneaking in the bathroom, listening. I hope you're not doing that. I mean, I appreciate it if you do, but what I'm saying is not worth losing your job or anything like that. I'm not that kind of guy that's going to believe that. Yeah, if you want to get on and say your piece and jump out, and then we'll talk on it. I'll just listen, and then we'll talk. But you guys are killing it. What were we talking about? Don't hate on that Everett, the black bookworm. Oh, Black Five. Well, that's a off-field thing there, Flash. Vernon, welcome. Okay, where are we at? You guys are going at it. You guys had said so much. You talking about? I think Deshaun had said that Shaq is top in the league, and they don't talk about it. Well, they don't. And I think Chris said, and I think I'm bringing both of those up because they're not going to talk about us because we don't have any respect. Till we earn some respect, we ain't going to talk about us. I mean, can you really blame them? We've been a disappointment for long, and sometimes, I'll give it to them, some media outlets have actually tried to give us a chance to be, predicting us to be a lot better than we did, and then we fall wayside and they stop believing in us. So a lot of it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' fault. It's a lot of it's their fault for not living up to some people's expectations that they had for us, and it turns into a crapshoot sometimes in the season. But I really believe that this culture is changing. Bruce Arians has brought in people that are going to change the mindset of people. We're going to weed out the ones that don't want to be here, and they're going to keep the ones here that want to be here. And, contracts and all that stuff, what somebody wants to make and their living situations, that's all different, because a lot of that has a lot to do with people signing and re-signing people. They got families too, and they have to figure out what's best for them and their wife and their kids and stuff like that. So it's not always about continuity with the team. It's a lot of intangibles as well, because they are people at the end of the day. Let me get into some of these comments here. But yes, they don't really talk about us, but a lot of it's off. They don't talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of it's their fault for why that happens. Chicago, that's what's up. I've never been there. I'll think about it. My buddy Andrew likes to go there. Decent, and goes up there. Been to that stadium a couple times. A legendary field, Soldier Field. I hope it's early in the year. I don't want to do cold no more. I moved down here from Philadelphia. Smaller market stats matter. If you're leading in the category, give them the respect that's due. Fair enough. Tyler, what's going on, buddy? It was 18 and we're still at 7 a.m. Day-Day, what's going on? Isabel, how you doing? That's Clifton Smith's wife. Clifton and her good buddies. We got to get back on the video game, Isabel. I know you're a Call of Duty fan. I'll get it if you want to get on and play. I got PS4. Tell Cliff he can get on and get beaten Madden if he plays. I know he's doing his thing out there coaching football and stuff like that. And you guys spend a lot of time with the kids, and you guys got the vacation. It was pretty cool. You guys did the hood thing with the gold, the grills. That was awesome. Anybody notice? I got to that already. Day also, Blake, we have to stop being the laughing stock of the league by making some crazy draft picks. Yeah, that's that one draft pick, and that's really been the staple. The knife and lights back has been that draft pick. But he's done, like I said, he's done well with scouting undrafted players and picking up free agents. He's done great so far. So I give him a wash out of that draft class, because if he didn't have those, I wouldn't be saying anything. But he's done well. Got a call coming in. Caller, you're live on Bucnblake Sports. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Blake? It's Deshaun Tisdale. How we doing?
Deshaun, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. I got a chance to, first and foremost, happy for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Got a chance to look at at that running back from DC. Everybody check that guy out. Hopefully we can get, I think it's maybe one or two more running backs that are comparable to size. But the game showed you this weekend, if James still has to throw in the fourth quarter, even second half, but we can't push the ball, we got to keep pushing the ball downfield. We can't run it. That's just not a good thing for us. We definitely need to be able to run the ball. The next thing for us, I think, is I was listening to the Dominican Sue presser that you had on Thursday. If you notice his words, just read between the lines. I think he knows he's not going to get $15 million to come back here, and that's why he said Vita Vea has a long time here, but I don't think that he's going to be here next year. A couple of the guys I think we got to cut bait on, maybe too, like Adams. That's a nice pick, but as from a body of work, he's not done a lot. He's always down in the box for a smaller guy. I get it. He comes downhill a lot, but of late he hasn't gotten beat deep. Early in the season, he was part of the secondary that was getting beat deep. I mean, I know we need a safety, and I know we're going to need at least one starting defensive tackle and a very good rotational tackle. I can't see paying Will Golston what we're paying them. It's too much and too many other players that need to get paid. So to keep this defense as close as possible, I think you have to keep Nassib. I think you have to keep Pierre-Paul from an identity standpoint, and you have to keep Shaq Barrett. Obviously, you already got a contract with Vita Vegas. So I think really where you're at is that, Sue and Golston, which he was making a lot of plays in this game because it was his hometown, but those two to me are players they got to rotate. They got to rotate out, or, I don't see us. I'm starting to think we may actually take McCoy back at an $8 million instead of that $15 million that Sue's going to get paid or looking to get paid. But I'll get off here and hear what you think, and then give me an idea of what you think this receiving corps is going to look like this week for Bucks.
Go, hey, Deshaun, and also send me that player that you're talking about. I'll take a look at some tape and see what he's looking at. You know, I'm a bookworm when it comes to watching tape. I'll check that out, see what I think, and I'll get back to you on that.
For sure. I'll listen up, Dallas. You have a good one.
Yep, you too. Deshaun Tisdale, everybody, as always, taking a break at work to say his piece. That's it. Just, 3 minutes? He got in, say his piece, and jump off. Yeah, but the asking price suits about money. He's up there in age, and he's about the money. I don't blame him. It's his body and how he feels. And if he deserves extra money, then so be it. And I think I said that earlier. It's a possibility McCoy could come back at a reduced price. He wants to be here. His family is still here. His wife and his kids are still going to school here. Well, not wife going to school, but you get my point. They're established here. So, it's a strong possibility at a discount rate. I give him incentive bonus. If he hits incentives, then he can make more money. He's already familiar with playing in the 3-4 style system in Carolina, and he can come back here and play. Use him as depth, the rotation. Definitely that. Yeah, I agree with. I'm trying to remember everything he said. Yeah, you're gonna have to draft some more depth on the defensive line. I hope you can keep JPP. I'm sure he's not gonna try to rake us over the coals in a contract extension. You're gonna have to extend Shaq Barrett. I mean, these guys love playing with each other, so I don't think they're gonna try to hurt us hurt the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in contract disputes, if they believe in the system here, and especially if we finish. That's why it's important to finish these last games on a win streak, so guys want to be back here, so they don't want to ask for an exorbitant amount of money to stay here on a losing team or whatever they feel that this team is. It's important to get these wins. It's not just worried about draft picks. It's about people wanting to come here as they know it's not a sinking ship, and they're not just going to come here for tax purposes in Florida. And if you're just tuning in, it's Bucnblake Sports live Monday post game to the Lions. Bucks win up there in Detroit 38-17. Gave a shout out to the Buckaholics. The Armada invasion came up there and dominated that stadium. They were surrounded. They were in enemy territory, but in all, just like the Bucks, they came away with a victory and enjoyed themselves. You can watch the rewatch and see it. I posted a little photo up there. The guys going crazy. Much like I do when I go to away games, but y'all ain't gonna ever see that live on here. You guys can't see me in my element, but I'm on that sauce. I was going back and forth in the chat group. You guys are going hard. Yep, I agree. Flash JPP wants to stay. Welcome to the show. Gerald Winston has better team around him than he has to play better. I agree. Winston knows what he's got to do. Like I said, I try not to be biased because it's Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I support the team. He knows what he's got to do and what he's got to get better. But there's other pieces, too, that would help alleviate that. An average run game would make a huge difference. It would eat up more clock. It would get us out of quarters faster, and it would lower the interception rate. Average run game would just pay dividends to this offense, this already prolific offense. It would help out enormously. And I think we said earlier about the Texans game. It's going to be real interesting watching how this game plan works with this receiving situation. It's going to be interesting. And I'm really looking forward to hearing Byron Leftwich. I know he's not going to give much, but I'm really looking forward to it. If you guys want to come call in, I'll take one more caller before I jump out of here. 727-475-1882. Appreciate you guys always giving all the love here on BucsReport.com to me every Monday and Friday. As always, I appreciate you guys all the time. So I try to give a platform for you guys to come on and say your piece. I want to check out that player Deshaun's talking about. Get some free time, watch some video. Melvin Gordon would get killed behind this line. He doesn't run north or south behind his pads. No, he doesn't. He's never been that, even since at Wisconsin. But I don't know. It's like a two-part system. Like, I remember all the years with Shanahan, and he would get those big burly linemen, and you just move people. That's what you have to do on run plays. You have to move people to create running lanes. At least one guy does to give a gap, a cutback lane, or whatever it is, and get to the second level. We just don't. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers just don't do that when they run the ball. They're there to get in the way. A lot of it, I've said this before, it's like pass blocking on run plays. And you got to create space for a back to find. I agree, Gerald. Zeke wouldn't make it with this line, and he always falls forward. I don't know. Get all the guys from Wisconsin, Nebraska, big old Cornhusker guys, and get them on this line and move them and get them moving. And we got to save some money on the offensive line too. Like Brian Jensen's the highest paid center in the league. He's played a lot better the second half of the season because I was critical on him at the beginning of the year, getting paid that much money for average performance. I'll give it that, average. Need at least one more road grader on the line. That's what you need, man. A road grader. That's what you got to have, somebody to move somebody. And I was cool seeing the Colts at home. I really got to see how big Quentin Nelson is. I see why he moves people. And then the feet that he has is amazing. It's crazy. Now, the size of this man, and he just moves people. Well, Blake Anthony, you need some Bucnblake swag. Oh, he's talking about the drinks. Oh, yeah, that's tailgating, just like I was in Jacksonville. I had a great time up there with all those Buccaneer fans. Definitely need an elusive patient back. We had one, like LeGarrette Blount was that guy. Shiano took care of that. Took care of Michael Bennett, too. That's why I wanted A.J. Dillon out of Boston College. That's my guy right there. Robert Thomas, we need a dynamic back. O-line pushes people back. Yeah, you got to have push on the line, man. If not, that's what I'm saying. Just run draws and let them up the field and then run right where they came from if you're not going to do that. We've developed a great receiving core. Let's work on the run game the same. Yeah, and that's a great point, Everett. We developed these guys. We didn't buy in. We developed these guys. Not to toot my own horn, I'll post it if I could find it. I called Chris Godwin. I wanted Chris Godwin in the draft. And I believe my exact words in that were, doesn't do a lot of things that stand out, but he does a lot of the little things great. And that's exactly what he does here. Catches the ball, breaks tackles, gets extra yards. And that's pretty much all you ask for. You don't need one-handed catches and all that cute stuff like Odell Beckham. How's that turned out so far for him? Hunt might be something here. Oh boy, don't start, Deshaun. The Hunt, I would love that. At a cheap rate too. That's the key part. Cheap rate. Kareem Hunt. In my opinion, the top two free agent running backs are Hunt and Gordon. Hunt's going to be a lot cheaper than Gordon. Winston has a better team around. Okay, we talked about that. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys calling in. Love that you guys support me all the time and support Bucs Report. Check us out. I'm here every Monday and Friday, usually around 1 o'clock. I overslept. Appreciate you guys' love on the new setup and everything. Always evolving here. And we'll end this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you, guys. God bless. And fire those cannons.